Good morning, students. Today we are going to start Unit 3. Before that, let me wish you all a Happy New Year 2021. In Unit 3, what we are going to see is we are going to see about the various strategies that organizations usually follow. Uh, we have reached at Unit 3, it is because of we have carried out environmental appraisal and organization appraisal in the last class. After our environmental appraisal and organization appraisal, the next information or the next step that the organization does is it will identify various strategic alternatives. These strategic alternatives exist at three levels. They are at corporate level, business level, and functional level. Now, at corporate, what is this corporate level strategies? Now, strategic alternatives at corporate level, which we develop and implement, is called as a corporate or a grand strategies. Now, corporate strategies gives possible direction in which an organization can move or it intends to move. Corporate strategy also involves decision concerning allocation of resources to various SBUs, transfer of resources from one business to another, and also managing a portfolios of business. So under corporate strategies, we do three things which involves allocation of resources, transferring of resources, and also managing portfolios. This is what we do at corporate, or this is what we do at corporate level strategies. Now let us look at the classification of these corporate level strategies. There are four types or four ways of classification these strategies. First one is growth or expansion strategy. Under growth and expansion strategy, we have four different strategies. First one is concentration strategy. Second one is integration strategy. Third one is diversification strategy. And the last one is cooperation strategies. Second type of corporate level strategies that we have is a stability strategy. Under stability strategy, we have three different types of strategies that we usually follow. First one is a no change strategy. Second one is pause, proceed with caution. Third one is the profit strategy. Third type of strategy that we have is a retrenchment strategy. Under retrenchment strategy, we have four different strategies. We call it as a turnaround strategy, restructuring strategy, this divestment strategy, and last one is the liquidation strategy. And the last type of strategy that we have is a combination strategy. In this, we have simultaneous strategy, sequential strategy, simultaneous sequential strategy. All these four major types of strategies that we have seen just now, we are going to see in detail. So the first one is the concentration strategy. Concentration strategy is otherwise, in terms of the strategy, we say it is expansion in your present business. Now, when we say expansion in present business, it says it involves more investment in a product line. Companies may expand its production capacity and also increase its market share. So there are three varieties of concentration strategies. This varieties of concentration was developed by Ansof's matrix, or we call it as Ansof's product market matrix. Now, the three varieties of concentration strategies that we have is the first one is the market penetration strategy. In this, what is this market penetration strategy? In this strategy, firm usually attempts to sell more of its existing products in existing market. By doing this, what the company intends to do is it increases its market share by higher usage of the product for its existing customers. Now, how does the company do this? This can be done by price reduction, free gifts given to customers, improvement in packaging, better promotion, and distribution. Now, let me explain this with an example. Now, under market, or a good example of a market penetration strategy is what we know about Indigo Airlines and also other budgeted airlines. Now, these airlines have made a higher growth rate through low pricing and aggressive promotion. Now, in short, what is this market penetration? The market penetration is company tries to enter into the existing market with existing products for its existing customers, thereby making the existing customers to use the products at a higher rate or at a higher usage. This is what we do at market penetration. The second type of strategy that we have is a market development. Now, under market development or under this strategy, the firm attempts to sell the existing product to new markets. So, what the company does is it is going to enter into new market with its existing products. By this, the company intends to attract new users, also find new geographical markets and new segments. This is what the company intends through market development strategy. A good example of all these things is ITC, HUL and Dabur. What these companies have done is they have launched low price sachets of their products into rural markets. Through this, the company has entered into new rural market by using its existing products by providing low priced sachets products. This is what the company intends to do through market development strategy. Now, the third type of strategy that we have is a product development strategy. Now, under product development strategy, the firm sells new products to its existing markets. So, what we do here is the market is said to be the same, but the company tries to sell new products or company tries to introduce new products into existing product. Now, what do you mean by this new product? The new product here refers to the basic product is going to be same, but the features like size of the product, price of the product, packaging of the product, all these are added to the basic product or all these are modified, all these elements have been innovated to the existing product markets. Good example is a tourism industry having introduced medical tourism for its customers. Through that, the company intends to bring in more travelers into the country. What are the advantages of this concentration strategies? The good example or advantages of this good advantage of concentration strategies is it is an easy strategy of growth as there is a minimum change. Now, what do you mean by this minimum change? Now, what the company intends to do is the company is having its own product or the company is having the same product, it will enter into the existing market or the company is going to bring out small changes in the product. Through that, it tries to enter into the existing markets. So, what the company has done here is there is a minimum change in the products that is considered to be as an easy way of strategy. The second one is it enables benefits of specialization. What do you mean by this benefits of specialization? Now, when a company is intending to introduce these products in new markets, what the company does is it goes for a mass production of products because it is going to introduce the products into new markets. Because of this mass production, company has a benefit of specializing its products. That is the second one. The third one is the company also gains a competitive advantage. What is this competitive advantage? Because the company is entering into new products, new markets with new products, or existing markets with already existing products or new products, there is a competitive advantage in comparison to the competitors that is existing in that part of the marketing. The last one is use of past experience. What is the use of this past experience? Because the company is going to face the customers with these existing products, the company has a wide variety of experience in dealing with the various problems associated with the customers. That is what we mean to say is use of past experience. So these are the four major advantages of concentration strategy. So put together, what is an example of all these things? Example of a concentration strategy is a Bajaj Autos. The Bajaj Auto is into the business of 2 and 3 wheelers. The company has increased its turnover by market penetration. It is through selling more in urban areas. That is, market penetration strategy. Now, what market development strategy also Bajaj Auto has followed, it is through selling to well-to-do customers in rural areas. That is a market development strategy. The third one is a product development strategy. It's a state-of-art motorcycles and mopeds for all type of customers. So, through this concentration strategy, the company has able to enter into urban markets, able to enter into or able to cater to rural customers and able to bring out state-of-art motorcycle and mopeds for all its customers. Next type of strategy that we have is an integration strategy. Now, integration strategy involves widening the scope of business firms' definition in terms of customer group, customer function, and alternative technologies. Let me try to recap what we have told in the first class. As I told, the first class is the business definition. Business definition says, as developed by Abel in the business definition, it says business definition includes customer group, customer function, and alternative technologies. Now, what is this integration? Now, when we say integration, it is widening the customer group or widening the customer function or use of good alternative technologies to meet your customers. This is what we mean to say it as an integration strategy. Integration strategies are two types. First one is a horizontal integration strategy and vertical integration strategy. Now, what is this horizontal and vertical integration strategies? Horizontal integration is here the firm launches same type of product at same level of production and marketing process. Example, a cement manufacturing company takes over its competitors. Now, the firm remains in the same industry and it will continue to serve the same markets and customers through its present product by using same technology. A cement manufacturing company takes over its competitors. I repeat the example. Cement manufacturing company is taking over its competitor. Now, the firm is said to be remaining in the same industry and it is also continuing to serve in the same markets and customers through its present product by using the same technology. This is a good example of how a company is taken over by its competitor. The second example is taking over of United Western Bank by the IDBI Bank. Now, United Western Bank has been taken over by the IDBI Bank. Now, because of this, IDBI has increased its retail network from 181 branches to around 420 branches in the country. It has also, another advantage of this integration is it has also gained access to low cost deposit rate. This is yet another example of how a company has developed or a company has implemented this integration strategies. The second one is we have seen just now about vertical strategy. Second one is we have seen just now about horizontal strategy. The next one is your vertical integration strategy. The vertical integration strategies are two types. We call it as a forward integration strategies and backward integration strategies. Let me explain all these forward and backward integration strategies with an example. Now, we have all heard of the Reliance Industries. Reliance Industries have started with a cloth manufacturer. What it did was it went for a backward integration by started manufacturing filament yarn, petrochemicals and hydrocarbons for its manufacturing industry. So that is a backward integration. It has also launched a garment manufacturing unit and also started exporting ready-mades, which is again a forward integration. Now let me explain you about how this forward and or what is this forward and backward integration. When we say a forward, we mean to say the company is moving towards the customer. When we say a backward integration, the company is moving from its present position towards its suppliers. That is what we mean to say a backward and forward integration. I repeat, from its present position, when the company is moving or looking towards its customer, we mean to say it is a forward integration. When the company has moved from its present position towards its supplier or towards its raw material supplier, then we mean to say it is a backward integration. Next type of strategy is diversification strategies. There are two types of diversification strategies. One is a concentric diversification. Second one is a conglomerate diversification. The first one, what is this concentric diversification? Or we mean to say concentric, or it is a related diversification. As the term itself says, it is diversification in its related businesses. That is what we mean to say under concentric diversification. Now, when a firm's new business is in any way related to its existing business in terms of customer group, customer function, and alternative technology, then we mean to say it as a concentric diversification. So, under concentric diversification, the company tries to diversify into any of its related business with reference to customer group, with reference to customer function, or with reference to the technology that it is using, then we mean to say it as a concentric diversification. See, there are three types of concentric diversification. First one is a marketing related diversification. Second one is the technology related diversification. And third one is marketing and technology related diversification. Now, what is this marketing related diversification? Now, under marketing related diversification, we mean to say it is the new and old products both can be distributed through the same channel. That is what we mean to say as marketing related diversification. For example, a book publisher may go into publishing magazines, or a sewing machine manufacturer may launch a household appliances and a kitchenware. Then we mean to say it as a market related diversification. The second type of diversification, concentric diversification that we have is a technology related diversification. Now, what is this technology related diversification? Now, in this case, the new and old products both use the same technology. For example, a firm which offers hire purchase services to institutional customers, they also start finance purchase of consumer durables by households. This is what we mean to say as a technology related diversification. Now, next one is a marketing and technology related diversification. Under the strategy, the firm introduces a similar product services with the help of similar technology. This is what we mean to say as market and technology related diversification. A good example of your concentric diversification is L&T. L&T is basically in engineering and construction, is basically an engineering and construction company. But over a period of time, the company has diversified into its related business like electrical, electronics, machinery, and industrial projects. Now, let us look at one important thing. What are the limitations of this concentration strategies? We have seen the advantages, but let us look at what are the limitations of this concentration strategy. Now, the first limitation of concentration strategy is the firm is totally dependent on only one industry. It means like putting all the eggs into one basket. So the risk is very high. Second one is the company usually will have product obsolescence. That is the second important limitation of this concentration strategy. The third type of limitation of this concentration strategy is company may lose interest and find the business less challenging over a period of time. The fourth limitation is concentration requires large investment in capacity expansion, which may create cash flow problems in the initial stage of product introduction. But when the business matures, the firm may have a cash surplus with a little scope for further investment in existing business. And the last limitation that we have is a concentration strategy can be successful when the industry has a high growth potential. These are the four limitations of concentration strategies. So, third type of diversification that we have is conglomerate diversification. Now, in conglomerate diversification or in this strategy, there is a combination of two or more business which are not related by technology and marketing. So, it is indirectly means that the company is diversifying into its unrelated business. For example, Tata Group, it is a conglomerate of 20 businesses from salt to software, and it also operates into hotel, airlines, software, and foods, and several other businesses. Now, Tata has conglomerates into 20 businesses which is unrelated to one another. That is what we mean to say it as a conglomerate diversification. Next one is, what is a cooperation strategies? Cooperation strategies are those strategies which are competing or rival firms can get benefit through mutual cooperation strategies. Now, various cooperation strategies that we have or company usually follow is strategic alliance, joint ventures, mergers and acquisition, and the last one is a cooperative itself. Let us look at what is this strategic alliance. The strategic alliance is a cooperative arrangement in which two or more independent firms combine their resources and capabilities for mutually agreed common objectives. Now, what is this definition saying about? Now, this is an cooperative arrangement in which two or more independent firms, what they do here is they will bring in some resources and capabilities to meet out a common objective. So, when two or more independent firms come in for a cooperative arrangement, first thing that they do is they will sit on a common agreed objectives. To meet out this common agreed objectives, each of these firms will bring in their resources and capabilities. This is what we mean to say as a strategic alliance. Now, under the strategic alliance, these two or more firms unite to pursue a set of agreed upon goals. But these firms will remain independent subsequent to the formation of its alliance. Now, what do you mean by this? See, these two or more firms come together. They form a cooperative arrangement of business. But these two firms are said to exist independently in the market. That is what we mean to say as a cooperative alliance. And another characteristic of this cooperative alliance is the partnering firms share the benefits of alliance and control over the performance of assigned tasks. So these firms will have, or the partnered firms will have, the benefit of control and alliance over the performance. This is the second important characteristic of your strategic alliance. The third important characteristic is these partnered firms contribute on a continuous basis in a key strategic areas like technology, products, etc. So there is a continuous contribution in various strategic areas. Good example that we have here is a Taj group of hotels. Now, Taj group of hotels and British Airways have come into an alliance for Taj groups will get a priority when they travel in British Airways, or British Airways customers when they travel, they will have a preference in Taj group of, or they will have a priority in Taj group of hotels to check in. So what we do here is these two groups, these two type of companies, Taj and British, have entered into an alliance whereby Taj customers will have an advantage in British Airways. British Airways customers will have an advantage in Taj hotels. But still, Taj hotels and British Airways are said to exist independently. This is what we mean to say it as an alliance. Next one is Renault and Nissan. Renault and Nissan have been in existence for over 150 years in terms of alliance. Now, in this alliance, Nissan is bringing in technology and cash, and Renault has brought in its upper hand in terms of management. This is what we mean to say it as an alliance. Now, what are the reasons for companies entering into strategic alliance? Various reasons for the companies entering into strategic alliance is it is to enter into new markets. That is a greatest advantage for a company. Those markets which a company feels that it is not able to enter, in those markets, these two strategic alliance companies can enter. Second one is to reduce manufacturing cost. One firm can, if it is having a strategic competitive advantage in manufacturing, that firm will bring in its manufacturing units, or that firm will bring in its manufacturing specialty, thereby it will be able to reduce its manufacturing cost. That's the second one. Third one is to develop new products. This strategic alliance, when they bring in their own competitive or strategic advantage things, then this new firm will be able to develop new products. Fourth one is to preempt competition. What is this preempt competition? Now, when you bring in a strategic alliance, you will be able to offshoot the competition from your competitors through bringing in duplicate products, through bringing in copy products. Through that, you will be able to overcome large amount of competition because of duplicate products. Now, what are the various types of strategic alliance? The various types of strategic alliance it is of 5 types. First one is a technology development alliance. Now, second one is operations and logistic alliance. Third one is marketing, sales and service alliance. Fourth one is single multi-country alliance. And the last one is X and Y alliance. So the first one is a technology development alliance. What is this technology development alliance? See, this type of alliance is formed to reduce cost and risk involved in development of new technology. So the partners will pool their R&D capabilities by sharing information and ideas through networking. That is what we mean to say as technology development alliance. Second one is an operations and logistic alliance. Now, partnering firms, when they get into an alliance, Operation Logistic Alliance helps to improve efficiency of manufacturing through exchange of information. That is Operations and Logistic Alliance. Third one is marketing, sales and service alliance. So under such alliance, partners share their distribution network and after-sales service facilities to increase sales revenue and to reduce manufacturing cost. That is about the third one. Fourth one is single country or multi-country alliance. Now, partners in this alliance may belong to same country or different countries. Usual popular thing of such type of alliance is multi-country alliances, that is very popular because of globalization. That is the fourth one. And the last one that we have is X and Y alliance. Now, X and Y alliance is alliance is said to be as when a partner perform different activities, and Y alliance is said to exist when a partner has similar type of skills and perform similar functions. So these are the 5 different types of alliances. The advantage of having X and Y alliance is it provides economies of scale. That is a major advantage of this X and Y alliance. So next type of this one is about your joint venture, or in short we say it as JVs. The joint venture, it is a new company formation or formed jointly by 2 or more independent companies. And these independent companies contribute a distinctive competence such as finance, technology, managerial expertise, etc. Now, what does this 2 independent companies bring? These 2 independent companies join together to form a joint venture only when they have a distinctive competence in comparison to their competitors. This distinctive competence can be in terms of finance, in terms of technology, and in terms of the managerial expertise that they have. A joint venture is usually formed between 2 or more firms which are having a complementary skills. Now, what are the various types of joint venture? The first type of joint venture is a joint venture between 2 companies belonging to same country and same industry. For example, NTPC and Indian Railways. This NTPC and Indian Railways have created a joint venture in the name of Bharatiya Rail Bijli Company. where NTPC has 74% equity and 26% equity is set to exist in this Bharatiya Rail Bijli company. The second type of joint venture is between two companies belonging to different industries or two or more companies belonging to different industries. For example, Nissan Motors of Japan, Renault of France, Mahindra and Mahindra of India. All these three companies have entered into a joint venture to manufacture sedan tram cars in India. It is to manufacture sedan tram cars, which is in Chennai. The third one is a joint venture between two companies from different countries but belonging to same industry. For a best example is Hero Group of companies, which is from India, and Honda Motors from Japan. We had Hero Honda. This is a joint venture between. This is an example of a joint venture between different countries but belonging to same industry. Fourth one is a joint venture between two companies from different countries and different industries. And the last one is a joint venture between Government of India and a foreign company. For example, foreign company is the Suzuki Motors and the Indian government having its equity in Suzuki in Maruti. This one. That is what we mean to say it as a Maruti Udyog company. Right? That is about the fifth one. Now, next one. What are the advantages of having this joint venture? Advantages of joint venture is, first advantage is technology. What is technology? See, in a global joint venture, the foreign partner can bring in advanced technology, while an Indian partner has a good understanding of the local market. Now, such is a joint venture that we say. For example, a TTK group in association with LIG of London has set up TTK LIG for making condoms in India. Second one is geography. Now, foreign company having a presence in several key global markets, it will enter India through a joint venture. For example, several Indian firms have entered into joint venture with global insurance firms, like for example, Prudential, Standard Life, etc. All these is an advantage of geography. Third one is regulations. Under regulations, when a highly regulated sector is open for private firms, joint venture usually comes in. For example, it is not now. For example, India had allowed 26% equity partnership in insurance sector, where Bajaj, Birla, Tata and ICCI have formed joint ventures with foreign firms after opening up of insurance sector. Now, this is the first stage of opening of insurance sector where government has allowed only 26% equity partnership. This is an example of having opening up of highly regulated markets in India. Fourth one is sharing risk and capital. Capital intensive sectors like, for example, heavy engineering requires huge investment and involves high risk. Now, joint ventures are formed in these types of industries in order to share risk, capital investment, and technological expertise. And the last one is your intellectual exchange. Now, what is this intellectual exchanges? In sectors like legal, accounting, audit, and consultancy professions, joint ventures are formed to exchange information and knowledge. So these are the 5 major advantages of this joint venture. Now, what are the drawbacks of this joint ventures? The joint ventures drawback have change of strategy. There might be regulatory changes, high risk associated with success of the joint ventures, partners usually hampering growth of these sectors, lack of transparency. These are the 5 major drawbacks of going for a joint venture. Now, what are the various strategic issues associated with joint ventures? The strategic issues associated with joint ventures are, first one is to define your objective. Second one is choosing your strategic partner. Third one is deciding your shareholdings. Last one is your selecting your management pattern. So these are the 4 strategic issues associated with joint ventures, or these are the 4 important strategic issues which has to be addressed to in order to have a success in this joint venture. If you are not able to define your joint venture properly, or if you are not able to choose your partner, or if you are not able to decide your shareholdings, or if you are not able to select your management pattern, then there is always a failure in a joint venture. So these four strategic issues has to be addressed very carefully when you go for a joint venture. Next one is merger. The merger, it refers to integration of two or more firms, and the combining firm will lose their separate identities and they form a big and a new firm. Now, what does we mean here? For example, consider that A and B firms are there. When A and B firm merge, the identity of A is lost, identity of B is lost, and a new identity is formed, C. This is what we mean to say it as merger. And when this A and B merge, A might be a big firm, B might be another big firm. When these two merge, A and B merge, they will form a very bigger firm which is very big than A or very big than B. This is what we mean to say it as a merger. Good example is ACC, which was created through merger of 11 different cement firms. This is an example of a merger. Let us look at types of merger. The first type of merger is a horizontal merger. Two or more organizations in the same business, when they combine together, then we mean to say it as a horizontal merger. That is what we see, as we have seen an example, ACC, Associated Cements. That is a horizontal merger. Second merger is a vertical merger. Now, vertical merger is, this is a merger that takes place when two or more organizations at different levels of business in the same industry integrate. So, for example, a footwear company, it will combine with a leather tannery industry or a chain of retail stores selling footwear. This is what we mean to say it as a footwear. This is what we mean to say it as a vertical merger. Next one is your concentric merger. Now, concentric merger is when a combining firms are related to each other either by customer group, customer function, and alternative technology. Then we mean to say it as a concentric merger. For example, the same footwear company, when it combines with the hosiery firm which is manufacturing socks. Fourth type of merger that we have is a conglomerate merger. The conglomerate merger is, it involves combining firms are totally unrelated to one another. For example, a footwear which may combine with a footwear manufacturing firm when it combines with an automobile manufacturing firm. Such type of mergers are known as a conglomerate merger. Now let us look at what are the reasons for this merger. Now, reasons can be at two levels. What is a benefit to the merging company? What is the benefit to the merged company? Now let us look at first the benefits to the merging company. First benefit is it provides quick entry into market and industries which involves huge risk and large investment. Second benefit is it helps in faster growth than what is possible for them through internal expansion. Another advantage is growth often offers economies of scale which can provide a competitive advantage. Third reason for merger is it facilitates diversification of operations. Fourth type reason or benefit of merger for a merging company is when one firm has a tax liability while the other firm has an accumulated losses, then their merge usually helps to save taxes. Fourth benefit is merger of firms with complementary capabilities offers benefits of synergy in marketing, operations, and management. And the last benefit to a merging company is merger of firms having seasonal businesses helps to stabilize sales revenue and profits. For example, a firm manufacturing fans and coolers may combine with a firm manufacturing heaters and geysers. Thereby, they will have a business for in the terms of 24 by 7. Next one is, what are the benefits to a merged company? A loss-making firm can liquidate itself through merger. That is the first benefit. Second benefit is, a company whose management cannot revive it can grow by merging with a highly efficient firm. Third one is, a firm which has acquired a distinctive competence which may not be able to manage growth beyond a certain size. In such companies, it may merge with another firm to sustain those growth. Fourth one is, a firm faced with a management crisis, for example, a top management succession problems, may find it beneficial to merge with another firm. So, benefits for a merged company can be, it helps to improve efficiency, gaining synergy, achieve strategic alliance or achieving strategic alignment and diversification. So, next one is, why do these mergers fail and how can you avoid all these things? That is the next one. Mergers, major reasons for these mergers being failure is, first one, it is a mistake in assessing the synergistic effect of a merger. Second one is inability to realize the potential economies. Third one is inadequate or defective planning. So what are the actions that the company can take in order to overcome these merger failures? First one, a firm with poor growth prospects can or should emerge with another firm in high growth area. Second one, a firm faced with unstable sales and profits can merge with one having more stable sales and profits. Third one, a firm with limited technological capability should merge with another having a strong R&D base. And the last one is, a firm with weak marketing system may merge with another having a strong marketing capability. So next one, what are the synergistic issues associated with mergers? First one is, what are the various strategic issues associated with mergers? First one is your synergistic effect. Second one is the financial issues. Third one is valuation of business and managerial issues. Last one is your legal issues. These are the four major issues, strategic issues associated with mergers. So let us go to what is this opposite of merger. The opposite of merger is, we call it as a demerger or we call it as a spin-off. For example, Z Telefilms, it has demerged into three firms, namely Z Entertainment Enterprises, Z News and Wire. Next one is Wireless India. All these have been demerged from Z Telefilms. Next one is acquisition or turnover strategy. Now, what is this? When one company acquires majority or full ownership and control of another company, then we call it as an acquisition. When it is done through a mutual agreement between two companies, then we mean to say it as a friendly acquisition or friendly takeover. When a company is acquired against the wishes, then we call it as a hostile takeover. Let us look at various examples of acquisitions. Tata Steel has acquired Corus Steel, Jaguar Land Rover brand cars of UK. Aditya Birla has acquired Novelis. Bharati Airtel has acquired Zain of South Africa. All these are said to be as an acquisition. So usually the term acquisitions and mergers are often used together as M&A. Usually called it as M&A. However, there are differences between the two. Merger does not necessarily involve acquisition. For example, two or more firms owned by a business house may be merged together. It is not essential that the acquired firm has to be merged with the acquiring firm. For example, Sterlite is operating as a standalone company even after its acquisition by Balco. Now, what are the advantages of this acquisition? Acquisition of an existing firm's products and facilities provide a quick entry into a target markets. Second advantage of acquisition is when the acquired and acquiring firms are in the same business, there can be substantial economies of scale. Third one, by acquiring a supplier or a distributor, a firm can reduce its dependence on others for supply of material or distribution of finished products. Last one is acquisition of rival helps it to reduce competition and increase market share. Next one. What can a company do when there is an hostile takeover? When there is a hostile takeover, as I told just now, it is a takeover where the company is being taken over against its own wishes. When that hostile takeover takes place, how can the company defend themselves? Or what are the defensive strategies during a hostile takeover? The first defensive strategy is, we call it as a spaceman defense. Now, what is a spaceman defense? Now, under this strategy, the target company attempts to raid the predator. That is what we call it as a spaceman defense. The second way is swallowing poison pill. Now, this strategy attempts to make the takeover target less attractive by measures such as issue of convertible debentures, etc. Third defense strategy during hostile takeover is, we call it as disposing of crown jewels. Now, this strategy is followed by disposing of most valuable assets, thereby making the target less attractive to the predator in the bid to discourage any takeover move. That is known as disposing of crown jewels. Third one is management buyout. Now, under this strategy, the target company raises funds from the market by issuing of bonds. Fourth, or the next type of strategy that we have is Operation Grey, or we call it as a white knight. Here, the target company launches a counter takeover attack on the predator by offering a higher bid to the target company than the other raider. The last one is a golden parachute. Now, this strategy involves providing protection to the company's directors through such measures such as extravagant termination packages, which would make it unattractive for the raiders to replace it. So these are the defense strategies during a hostile takeover. Now let us look at the issues and steps in acquisition process. Now the first one is defining the objectives. Second one is constituting the task force. Third one is identifying the target firm. Fourth one is conducting due diligence. Fifth one is making acquisition bid. Sixth one is acquiring the target firm. And the last one is post-acquisition action. So these are the 7 issues and steps associated with the acquisition process. Next one is your stability strategy. The stability strategy is adopted when it attempts an incremental improvement in its functional performance by bringing changes in the customer group, customer function, and alternative technology either singly or collectively. So what do you mean by this? See, there is through the stability strategy, company tries to bring in a small improvement either in its customer group or in its customer function or in its technology or all put together. Then we mean to say it as a stability strategy. For example, a packaged tea company may provide a specialized services to its industrial buyers apart from its consumer sales in order to encourage bulk buying. So what the company does in this example is it is providing a special service to its industrial buyers in order to encourage bulk buying. So what the company has done here is there is a small incremental improvement in the customer group. So there is a small change in the customer group. This is what we mean to say it as an incremental improvement. Next one, what are the major types of stability strategies? Usually there are three types of stability strategies that companies follow. First one is a no change strategy. Second one is pause, proceed with caution strategy. Third one is the profit strategy. So let us look into it one by one what it is. Before that, what are the advantages of the stability strategy? Before going to the type of stability strategy, let us look at the advantages of the stability strategy. First advantage is stability is basically a defense strategy, therefore it involves less risk and investment. Second advantage is it involves less changes and therefore employees feel very comfortable. Third one is stability is suitable in a stable and predictable environment. Stability may be adopted when expansion is perceived as being threatening. After a period, fifth one is after a period of rapid expansion, stability may be adopted for consolidation. Next one is managers have limited ambitions and may be satisfied with the current performance. Next one, when a competitive advantage of a firm lies in the present business and market, it may pursue a stability strategy. So these are the 6 different advantages of stability strategy. The next one, as I told just now, is what are the major types of stability strategies. First one is no change strategy. Now in this strategy that we told just now is a no change strategy. In this, as the term itself says, there is a decision as nothing that the company has to do, or we call it as nothing to do for the company. What do you mean by nothing to do is the firm does nothing new, or the firm does not find it worthwhile to alter its customer group, customer function, or technologies. Many small scale firms operating in small niche market and offering products or services through a time tested technology usually go for a no change strategy. Thus, a no change strategy is an incremental growth strategy. Second one is pause, proceed with caution strategy. Now, pause, proceed with caution strategy, it is employed by firms that wish to test the ground before moving ahead with a full-fledged strategy. Now, firms which are having a rapid expansion and want to consolidate before moving ahead adopt this strategy. For example, in shoe market, we have leaders like Bata and Liberty. In late 2000s, HLL entered into business and it started producing shoes and shoes uppers for its export market. So in order to test the customer's mind, it started selling shoes in Indian cities to assess the market reaction. Now this is what we call it as a pause, proceed with caution strategy. So what the company did, what HLL did was, before it started to export its shoes and upper part of the shoes, it started to sell those shoes in Indian markets. It is to assess how the market reaction. But HLL literally failed in this one, so it stopped its export market decision. So this is what we mean to say it as the pause, proceed with strategy. The third one is the profit strategy. No firm can continue with the no change strategy indefinitely. At one point of time, the firm has to go for a profit strategy. Now, business environment will also change over time, and the firm also has to change at that point of time. It may be faced with short-term threats like economic recession, industry down turnover, competitive pressure, and government attitude, etc. So, the firm lies low and attempts to sustain its profitability under the crisis is over. For example, selling of lands which is available in the prime locality and shifting towards a suburban. All these are considered to be as a profit strategy for a company. The next one is your retrenchment strategy. The retrenchment strategy. The aim of the strategy is contraction of its activities by reduction or elimination of one or more of its business in terms of customer group, customer function, and alternative technology. So what the company does is it is contracting its activities in terms of customer group, customer function, and alternative technology. Now, retrenchment strategy is adopted by organizations when there is a substantial reduction in scope of activity. Decline may also occur due to both internal and external reasons. This can be ineffective top management, faulty strategies that the company has been following, strong resistance to change, inappropriate organization design, high cost, unproductive new products, excess assets are the internal reasons. And the next one is your external reasons. The external reasons include demand saturation, unfavorable government policies, changes in the customer needs and preferences, emergence of substitute products, new business models, and new technologies. Now, what are the symptoms that the companies will get for going into this retrenchment strategy? See, there are several symptoms which indicate the need for a retrenchment strategy. For example, declining profitability of organization, falling cash flows, decline in sales turnover, loss of credibility. These are the several symptoms which needs an attention towards a retrenchment strategy. Several industries in India have also shown such decline. For example, cotton textiles, jute, coal mining, manual typewriters, teleprinters, steam engines are all such examples. Another few examples are a pharmaceutical firm when it pulls out from retail selling to concentrate only on industrial selling. So what the company has done is it has reduction or it has brought in contraction of activities in retail selling to concentrate only on industrial selling. Second example is a corporate hospital. It is focusing only on specialty treatment and it is stopping general cases. So this is yet another example of contraction of activity. Next one is a training organization which is focusing only on distance learning system, thereby it is discarding face-to-face interaction. So this is yet another example of contraction or reduction or elimination of businesses. Now, what are the reasons for companies going into retrenchment strategy? Now, first reason that we have is the firm wants to exit from a particular product or service due to continuous loss. Second reason is reallocation of resources from unprofitable to profitable businesses, which can ensure viability and stability of the firm. Third reason is the firm's environment is very threatened. And the last one is the management is under pressure to improve performance and whereby other strategies the company is not able to do anything improvement. So these are the 4 reasons for retrenchment strategy. Let us look at what are the various types of retrenchment strategy. The first type of retrenchment strategy is a turnaround strategy. The turnaround strategy, as the term itself refers to, it means reversing a negative trend or converting an unprofitable or a sick business into a profitable one. Now, what are the various action plan involved in turnaround? The action plan involved in turnaround is, first one is there should be change in the top management. Second one is there should be a strategic turnaround. So what do you mean by the strategic turnaround? The strategic turnaround involves increase in market share, exit from unprofitable business, focus on niche markets, and a defensive product or market segment. This is known as a strategic turnaround. Next one is an operating turnaround. Now, operating turnaround involves various cost-cutting measures revenue generation measures, and asset reduction. So these are the three important operating turnaround. First one is, what is this signs for this turnaround strategy, or what are the major signs that give for an organization to go for a turnaround strategy? First sign is that there will be a continuous loss. Second one is there will be a negative cash flow. Third one is there's a declining market share. Fourth one is deteriorating of physical facilities. Fourth one is overstaffing or high employee turnover. And your sixth one is non-competitive products or services that the company is having. The seventh one is a mismanagement of organization, and the last one is increasing debt for the company. Now let us look at what do you mean by this corporate restructuring. The corporate restructuring is restructuring in different ways, thereby there will be a turnaround for the company in terms of profit. The various restructurings are organization restructuring. Organization restructuring, it refers to change in the organization structure such as delayering, downsizing, redesigning managerial positions, and changing report relations. These are the four major changes in the organizational structures. It is about delayering of organization. It means we try to bring down the various layers of organization. Second one is downsizing. We try to bring down the number of people working in the organization. Next one is redesigning managerial positions. We redesignate managerial positions, and last one is changing the reporting relationship. And manager has to report to different persons or different person previous to restructuring. These are the four major ways of organization restructuring. Second one is financial restructuring. It refers to change in the equity holdings, debt servicing schedule, altering in debt equity ratios. All these are said to be as financial restructuring. And the last one is your business restructure. It refers to change in the company's portfolio to improve its profitability. What are the various forms of corporate restructuring? The various forms of corporate restructuring are joint venture, M&As, which is called as mergers and acquisition, profit portfolio restructuring, split or spin-off of a division as a separate company, divestiture, buyback of shares, management buyout, rescheduling loss, finally conversion of debt into equity. So these are the 9 different forms of corporate restructuring. So the next one is, the last one is this divestment strategy and liquidation strategy. What is this divestment strategy? Now, divestment strategy is a strategy whereby the company or the organization sells a part of its business or a major division that cannot be turned around. For example, a government has divested its shareholdings in Maruti Udyog Limited in favor of Suzuki Motors. That is a good example of divestment strategy. Now let us look at what are the reasons that the companies go for this divestment strategy. The first reason is there is a persistent and negative cash flow for a unit that creates a financial pressure on the company as a whole. Second reason is inability of the company to face increased competition. Third one is the company is unable. Fourth one is cannot generate better results. And the fifth one is a business acquired earlier proves to be a mismatch and cannot be integrated into the company. The sixth one is divestment is a part of a merger scheme wherein unprofitable division is not able to be merged. Now first, what are the various examples of divestment that has taken place in India? First one is the divestment. The Tata Group has divested its non-core business. It has sold off its Tata Oil Mills and also Lakme. It has sold off from Lakme has been sold off to Hindustan Unilever and pharmaceutical units to Wockhardt. Now, Hindustan Unilever has divested its marine food business, which is a non-core business. The next one is your TTK Group. It has divested its cloth making, ball pens, ink, toys, and chemicals and cardboard businesses. These are the best example of divestment in India. Last one is your liquidation strategy. The liquidation means closing down the entire company and selling off its assets. Now, this is considered to be as an extreme strategy and a last resort for the organization, which is considered to be as a difficult one and undesirable one because it has caused a loss of employment, thereby trade unions usually oppose such type of liquidation strategies. Now, what are the various liquidation strategies that the company has? Under liquidation strategies, it takes place in three ways. First one is a voluntary wind-up. Second one is a voluntary wind-up under the supervision of court. Third one is a compulsory wind-up under the order of court. These are the three important liquidation strategies which is having under your Companies Act. Now, next one is your combination strategies. Now, combination strategies is also called as a mixed or hybrid strategy. This is what do you mean by this mixed or hybrid strategies? Mixed or hybrid strategies is a mixture of stability, expansion, and retrenchment strategies. Now, combination strategies may be adopted in a simultaneous manner or in a sequential manner. What are the various? Under combination strategy, company may adopt the following one: stability and growth strategy, stability and retrenchment strategy, growth and retrenchment strategy. And the last one is growth, retrenchment, and stability strategies. Now, example of stability strategies that has been implemented in India. ITC Limited, which is a diversified conglomerate operating in tobacco products, paper boards, FMCG, agribusiness, ready-made garments, and IT. Now, it has diversified into hotels in 1975 and agribusiness into 1990. Now, it has adopted a turnaround strategy for its business and divested into financial services business. So, these are the various combination strategies that the company has adopted. Now, with this, we have come to an end of your corporate level strategies. The next one is your business level strategies. Now, business level strategies these are the strategies that can be used by individual businesses within the organization. Now, business strategies are those courses of action that the companies, these are courses of action adopted by firms or companies for each of its business separately to serve identified customers group, and they also provide value to customers by satisfying their needs. Or to put together, what is this business level strategies? Now, business level strategies are concerned with one, positioning the business against competitors. Second one, anticipating changes in demand and other factors. Third one, influencing the nature of competition through strategic action. So, business level strategies include targeting on these three things: positioning the business against competitors, anticipating changes in the demand and reacting to it. Third one is influencing the nature of competition through strategic action. What are the various types of strategies that we usually follow? First one is your generic business strategy. Now, what is this generic business strategy? The generic business strategy, or we call it as a competitive strategy, are of three types, which is developed by Porter. So, the three types of strategies are cost leadership strategy, differentiation strategy, and focus strategy. Let us look at the cost leadership strategy. Now, when the product or services are low compared to competitor, then the company goes in for a cost leadership strategy. Or what we mean to say is the products and services that the companies are having is having a competitive advantage, and the competitive scope that we have here is a broad target. So this is what we mean to say as a cost leadership business strategy. Best example that we have is a Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation. We call it as a GCMMF. This is considered to be as a country's largest milk federation corporate, and its brand is Amul. We are all familiar of. Now, how Amul has attained this much cost leadership? Cost leadership. Now, it has attained this cost leadership through chain of milk processing plants that the company is having, and also procurement of milk through a network cooperative societies, which is located across the country, and an efficient and also having an efficient distribution network. So this GCMMF is having a chain of milk processing plant, and it is also procuring milk through a network cooperative societies, which is available throughout the country, and also efficient distribution network. All these three are considered to be as an element of cost leadership. So this is considered to be as an inherent strength which is used to gain a competitive advantage over its competitor. How to achieve competitive advantage, or how do companies achieve this competitive advantage? Now, to understand this cost leadership, first of all, company has to understand the value chain of the product or service of the firm. In order to understand this value chain, you should first of all understand what is the process of the product or service that the organization is having. When you are able to understand the product's process, you will be able to understand the value chain of these things. Costs are associated or spread over this entire value chain. Wherever there is a value chain, then there are costs associated in all the activities in making of the product. To achieve or to ensure the cumulative cost associated or with across the value chain, it is to lower than its competition. Or what we mean to say is to ensure that the cumulative losses across the value chain should be lower than the competitor. Your competitor's value chain cost, cumulative cost, should be higher than your cumulative cost across your value chain. Then only you will be able to have a cost leadership competitive strategy. For this, what the company has to do, it is essential to analyze the cost drivers and then identify the area of optimization of cost. What is this cost drivers? See, in your value chain, there will be various cost drivers. Cost drivers are those which add cost to the making of the product or cost associated with the activities in making of the product. Now, if you are able to analyze and identify these cost drivers, then you will be able to identify the area of optimization of cost. See, the various organization doesn't have all the cost drivers, or in your making of your product, there will not be all the process which are to be cost drivers. There will be specific cost drivers. Identify those cost drivers and identify those cost drivers through which you will be able to optimize your cost. That is how companies usually try to have or try to become cost leadership. Next, another important or interesting example that we have. We have all heard of Mosaber. Now, this is basically an UP-based, Noida-based company, which was earlier dominated by Taiwan companies in CD, which is through Sony. Now, what Mosaber has done is, this company has an inherent strength known as low cost. Using this inherent strength of low cost of Mosaber, the company has gained its competitive advantage. So, the best example and the best way is identify your inherent strength. That is to be, in this one is your low cost. Use this inherent strength to gain competitive advantage. That is what Noida-based Mosaber has done, and your GCMMF has also done. Next one is your differentiation business strategy. When a firm has a special feature in its products or services which are demanded by customers and customers are willing to pay for those as and more one, then we mean to say it as a differentiation business strategy. So what we mean to say is when a company is having a very special feature, either in terms of its product or in terms of its service, and which are demanded by customers, and customers are willing to pay more for it, then we mean to say it as a differentiation strategy. For this, the company can charge a premium price, get additional through that company can get additional customers and also company's loyalty. Now, in the year 1985, Parley Agro has introduced Fruity into Indian market. The Fruity is basically a non-aerated, natural fruit-based drink. Now, what Fruity has done is, or what Parley Agro has done is, it has brought in a tetra packing for the first time in the country in the year 1985. Now, this is in contrast to the food drinks that is, or contrast to the drinks that is available over the glass bottles, which the Fruity has done. Also, the Parley Agro has priced it at par with popular aerated drink. This is considered to be as a very successful differentiation business strategy. Now, to explain this example, now prior to Fruity being introduced into the market, we had large companies or multinational companies providing bottled drinks in Indian market. What Fruity did was it brought in non-aerated natural food-based drink in a tetra pack. This was first time introduced into Indian market, and it was priced at par with the glass bottle. And it was a takeaway success for the Parley Agro by introducing Fruity in a tetra pack. Now, how to achieve this differentiation strategy? Now, usually to achieve this differentiation strategy, the companies can incorporate features and attributes at any point of value chain. The places of incorporation in the value chain can be like high quality raw materials, superior process technology, speedy and reliable distribution of products, better after sales service in the value chain. The last one that we are going to see is focus business strategy. Now, focus business strategy, here the company catered to a narrow segment of the market, or the company's focus will be on a narrow segment. So it is called as a niche strategy. Now, best example or what is the characteristics of the niche strategy? The niche strategies are, when the strategies are implemented, they are considered to be as a low-cost strategy or a differentiation strategy. The best example that we have is a branded jewelry of Titan known as Tanishq. The differentiation strategy that the company is providing is it offers gold, pearl, and diamond jewelry for both men and women. And the design that they provide for these both men and women is it is to a continuous feedback from customers through their retail outlets, and every quarter there is a feedback being collected from the customers, and based on the feedback only designs are being prepared. This project has a guarantee of purity from Titan or from Tata. Now, how did companies achieve, or how to achieve your focused business strategy? Now, first one is identify the narrow target in terms of market and customers where cost leader and differentiation is not there. For example, let us take a tire manufacturing company, truck tire, which is not a niche market, but the company can think of aircraft tire, which is a niche market. So this is how the company can focus on business strategies. Now, next one is what are the Tactics for business strategies. Now, generally, there are two tactics that the companies usually follow for business strategies. That is, when and where. When here refers to time, where here refers to place. Now, let us look at the time tactics. Under time tactics, we have the three major players in the industry. The first one is your first mover, second mover, and late movers. So, based on time tactics, the major players in the industry are first mover, second mover, and late movers. Now, let us look at the first movers. For example, Parley, first mover in mineral water in the terms of distillery by introducing distillery in the market. Second one is, next example is Coca-Cola by bringing in Kinley, Pepsi by bringing in Aquafina. This is known as the first movers. And the late movers are, various other examples are there. This is in terms of when or time-based tactics. Next one, as I told just now, is about where or place-based tactics. Under market location strategies, there are four major types of location strategies that is usually followed. First one is a leader tactics or leader strategies. Second one is a challenger strategies. Third one is the market follower strategies. And the last one is a niche strategy. Now let us look at the market leader. The market leader is a person, one who leads the market with new products, with definite price and a definite market size for their products. Now next one is about the market challenger. Now the tactics what the market challenger follows is usually guerrilla strategies, bypass strategy, frontal attack strategies, flank strategies, and encirclement strategies. All these five strategies are the challenges that usually market challengers usually follow to attain their market leader. Third type of strategies that we have is a market follower. Under market follower, we have three different strategies. We have a counterfeiter, cloner, and an adapter and imitator strategy. So these are the four major strategies that usually the companies follow. Now, let us look at the challenges strategy. First one is a guerrilla strategy. Under guerrilla strategy, the company comes into face-to-face with the leader. Bypass strategy is a company tries to bypass the market leader and enter into the market. Third one is the frontal attack. The company tries to attack the market leader in the frontal way. The last one is the encirclement strategy. The company tries to encircle the market leader by not making any front move or back move by the leader. And let us look at the example of the follow. Let us look at what do you mean by the followers. The first one is a counterfeiter. The counterfeiter is a strategy that the competitor usually follows by introducing the counter products into the market. Second strategy, the second follower strategy that we have is a cloner strategy. Here, the follower tries to bring in clone products into the market for the market leader. Third one is the imitator. The follower usually imitates the leader's product and brings in the product. And the last one is an adapter strategy. Finally, what the follower does is he tries to adapt the strategy that the leader has been following. So these are the various tactics that the business strategies have been following. That is about your business strategy, business focus strategy. Thank you for coming into the class. With this, we come to an end of your third class. Any doubts, clarifications, you can get in touch with my mobile number and with my mail ID. Thank you.